why would you want God to wait and change him when he could bless you with the man he truly has for you? Like, because you waiting on this certain man that may never change. Well, God would not. He wouldn't do that to you. Because it's a man out there that's for you that is saved, that you will be equally yoked. Yes. But I just wanted to answer that because that happened to me. And just like that, yes, I told him I'm going to get saved. And I need you to be gone when I get home from work, point blank. Because I wanted God more than I want, because I wasn't happy with that. And he's not and he was a survivor. He made it. They'll be okay. And yes, I struggled with it in the beginning, but I still knew no, he was not the one. And I wasn't going to pray to ask God to change him. I needed God to start with me and change him.
Amen.
So I just and they had a two-part question. Like I said, the first one is very, very deep. What are some scriptures or words of encouragement that you can give to a married woman or man who are both saved but won't touch their spouse sexually? And to me, I'm not married, I'm not there. I did find some scriptures. Because God, I do know I just took a premarital class. So for you single women who want to be married, take that class. You might change your mind. I mean, seriously, it's not to run from it, but it's some work.
Yes.
It's it opened my eyes to want to. Am I ready for this? Is this what I want to? Because right now in my singleness, I'm content. I can get up. I can go serve God. Nobody ain't calling me. Where you at? What you doing? You at that church too much. I mean, and I'm not knocking marriage because I know it's a beautiful thing when God puts that together. But to me, this was deep because God is for sex and marriage. If y'all were not married, then he's not for that. But if you are married, that's something in the premarital class I learned the 3 top things for divorce was communication, finances, and sex. So that's deep. I did write down some scriptures that y'all could read together, and hopefully your mate is open to that because God is for that, and he don't want you. Because when you not have that sex and marriage, the reason he made that is because that's you and him becoming as one. So when you're not, that's where the enemy come in and saying little queet and little bobo, and they out there, they telling you everything, but your spouse, because you need that sexual, you need that to come together as one, and God is for that. So I did write down some scriptures, because it is in the Bible, and you can just Google scriptures about sex in marriage, and read them with your spouse, pray with your spouse, because that's the spirit of the enemy, because he's not for marriage. But that's a spirit because you don't want you or your spouse going out there getting sex from somebody else.
Exactly.
Because then we fit to really get into some sin. We fit to go into the devil's playground. Yeah. So I hope whoever wrote this is still here. But definitely that man, don't pray for God to change that man. Yes. Because that's who you want. You want God's choice. Yes. And sometimes we think we hear from God that God, you told me this, my man. But be careful about that because you could be keeping yourself away from the true man God has for you. Why would God make you wait on a man that's not saved? Why would he do that? God don't give you no mess. He give you the best.
Amen. Woo!
Yes, Lord. You know, he truly does. And then this is somebody who's single. That's a good one. I am single. How do I stay focused on the path of righteousness? I have prayed for God to send me a husband. There is a man of God I am interested in who is saved and loves the Lord. And he has no idea, and he doesn't know me personally. But we have met in public. I want God to continue to be first in my life. And for this person, my advice would be to continue to pray for your husband, continue to make your request to God. But something that someone gave to me was in private, when you are praying, do not pray it out loud, say it in silent, to ask God to show you a sign from a man when that is your husband. And it has to be in private so the devil does not hear you, so the devil does not bring the wrong man to your path because he heard your prayer. And say it as you're praying for your husband. ask God to show you God when it is Him in silence. Because God works through that man as well. That man finds a wife. So it'll be, when it's that man, you'll know because you ask God in private, God, show me this. Whatever it may be, he may say a certain thing, but just ask him in private, in silence. And once you get that from that person, then you'll know that's your mate. And even with this guy, you never know, because I don't know what God might do. But if just pray that with your husband prayer in silence, ask God to show you, when it's my husband, Lord, show me this sign so that I'll know that this is truly the man that you sent for me. And that worked for me, so I'm just trying to pass some advice along. Even though it may not be the husband you thought it was going to be, but it's God's choice, so that'll be your best husband. And then this one says, I have a relationship with God, but feel the need to grow closer to Him in my singleness. What more can I do? All I can say is keep Him first. Stay in your, if you are in ministry, stay in ministry. Keep reading your word. And continue to grow close to Him, because you want to do that. Because this is the time in your singleness that it's just you and God, and that's your relationship. And like I told you guys earlier, I'm content in I love my relationship with God. I don't want to give that up just so I can be married. Not to say I'm going to have to do that when I'm married, but it's a good time in my life. And I do want to continue to grow closer to God. Not just now, but even when I go over to my promise with my husband, that's important to me because we need God. That's going to be our foundation. That is our foundation. But definitely, if you're single and you want to just stay in your word, keep in your ministry, keep loving on God, keeping Him first, and when them distractions come, saying no. Because you can do it. I've been single for 3 years. God has sustained me to be celibate. It is temptation, but no. Yes, I sin. I'm not going. I do sin, but when it comes to fornicate and that lust, no, I'm not going back down that road. No, because I know what God. No, I gotta wait until I'm married. And even in my relationship, that's 100%. It's no, we don't do any, because that's not my husband yet. Yes, God may have said it's going to be, but He's not. And until He's my husband, that's when we need to have public affection. That's when everybody needs to know. But right now, God has not ordained us yet. We just courting, and just stay in your singleness and stay with God. And if this person wants to be married, He'll send your husband.